So week 9 of the NFL season is in the books, and it is this point in time of the year where some teams start to focus on the playoff push ahead, potentially fostering visions of Super Bowl aspirations. And then you've got other teams that are wondering what went wrong and are just playing out the string until they get to the offseason. Nonetheless, let's talk about week 9 of the 2019 NFL season. Jimmy G's 4 touchdown passes helped the Cardinals hold off, or they helped the 49ers, hold off a pesky Cardinals team 28-25 on Thursday night. Switching over to the Sunday action, the Texans whipped their tallywhackers out in jolly old England all over the Jaguars and Minshew's mustache, beating them 26-3. A bad time to have a bad week if you're Gardner Minshew because he's back to the bench now. Devin Singletary and the defense sparked the Bills past the Redskins 24-9. Harrison Butker hit a 44-yard field goal as time expired, and Matt Moore and the Kansas City Chiefs go on to beat the Minnesota Vikings in Arrowhead 26-23. Fitzmagic leads to the Dolphins' first win of the year. Gee, I wonder what happens if you hire the failed head coach from another divisional team and bring him in yourself. You get Buckeyes! Dolphins beat the Jets 26-18. Trying to sabotage your own tank movement. How do you do that? As much as the Eagles tried to blow it in the second half, the good thing for them was they had more than enough to hold off Trushitsky and that Bears offense. Eagles win 22-14. Adam Vinatieri missed a last-second field goal. Minkah Fitzpatrick had an interception return for the touchdown. Pittsburgh Steelers, now at 500, beat the Colts 26-24. Christian McCaffrey boosts his MVP chances with a big-time day and helps lead the Panthers past the Titans 30-20. Matthew Stafford, Stat Padford to some of you, throws for 406 yards and 3 touchdowns, yet his team ultimately comes up short. Raiders win 31-24. Guess that Mac trade wasn't so bad for him after all. Russell Wilson continues his MVP push with a 378-yard, 5-touchdown day. Seahawks hold off the Bucks, win it in overtime 40-34. Brandon Allen wins his first start of his career for the Denver Broncos. The Browns. They lose again, move to 2-6. Broncos win 24-19. The Chargers defense dominated in Los Angeles. Melvin Gordon had 2 touchdowns. They did more than enough to beat Aaron Rodgers and the Green Bay Packers 26-11. And here come the Chargers. Then you get to the Sunday night action. Lamar Jackson. Melvin. Jesus Christ, I gotta stop doing these videos at 5:30 in the morning. Lamar Jackson and Mark Ingram powered the Ravens on the ground all over the Patriots on Sunday night. Ravens win. Patriots' first loss of the year. How about that? The push for 19-0 is over. Ravens win 37-20. And the Cowboys stormed out in the second half. Big win over the New York Giants. Sorry, Giants fans. Maybe next time. In terms of your biggest winners and losers from week number 9, I'd go with the winners, the Los Angeles Chargers. Now back-to-back wins over the Bears first and then a better performance at home against the Packers. The way that AFC is shaping up, the Chargers are, 4-5? They are not out of the mix yet by any stretch of the imagination. The Kansas City Chiefs, they beat a very good Minnesota Vikings team without Patrick Mahomes. You got to give them credit where credit is due. And the Baltimore Ravens go into Sunday night and they smashed the Patriots. They didn't just get lucky to win. They beat them up in the second half. They beat them. That's a big statement victory for the Baltimore Ravens and a little bit of a reality check for the Patriots. The losers. I got to go all on the head coach front here. Adam Gase. The Dolphins fired you. The Jets hired you. The Dolphins are clearly tanking. Your team is not. Yet you managed to coach your team to defeat. How does that happen? And how do you still have a job? Freddie Kitchens. The Browns had all these expectations and all these hopes. And now you've been exposed as the idiot play caller that you are. Your team is 2-6, going nowhere fast, and you're about to ruin Baker Mayfield. How's that working out for you, Cleveland? Welcome back to the skid marks is all I got to say. And then, of course, you got my Bears, Matt Nagy. Just what? Just what are you doing? I realize you have the disadvantage of having a crappy quarterback in Trubisky, but you have been a numbskull in your play calling the vast majority of the season, and nothing is changing. You're not doing anything creative. You're not doing anything differently. It feels like you're just not doing anything at all. There's no gimmicks. There's no tricks. There's no attempt to do anything different. There's no consistency in your approach in terms of the running game. There is nothing! And the Bears Bears team that maybe foolishly, because Trubisky and Strushitsky had Super Bowl aspirations, or God forbid, at least playoff aspirations, is now 3-5. Thanks a lot, Nagy. Your top performers from week number 9. Russell Wilson, again, 378 yards, 5 touchdowns, making a very, very strong case for himself as an MVP candidate. Same as Christian McCaffrey, 166 total yards and 3 touchdowns. The Panthers are 5-3. McCaffrey is in the mix as an MVP candidate. Tyreek Hill had 6 catches, 140 yards and a touchdown, helping the Chiefs beat the Vikings. Zach Ertz had 9 catches, 103 yards and a touchdown. You know, if you're the Bears, you might want to guard Zach Ertz, but clearly they didn't. And then defensive-wise, you look at the Texans, 2 interceptions, 2 fumble recoveries, 3 sacks, only 3 points allowed. And basically they sent Gardner Minshew's ass packing back to the bench. It was a big-time performance for a Texans team that really needed one there in jolly old England. And then that brings me to the 2-minute drill to kind of close out the week really quickly. And the one thing I've noticed to me that's kind of aggravating is a lack of context to a lot of things. Like, you got all these people that are chest bumping and thumping themselves and patting themselves on the back over DK Metcalf. And look, I had DK Metcalf as a top 50 player, but I did not have him as a first-round prospect. I'm not surprised that he's doing well. But the simple fact of the matter is this was a guy that had a limited route tree in college, and he had some significant serious injury history. So for all these people high-fiving themselves and bending over backwards to call out all the people that said he was going to be a bust, you know, there were reasons that he didn't go in the first round. And if you want to mock anybody, why don't you mock the NFL teams that passed him up to and including the damn Seattle Seahawks who took LJ Collier instead of him in the first round? Then the people talking about the Bears clearly lost the Khalil Mack trade. Well, it ain't going well right now, that's for sure. Doesn't matter what you bring in for an edge rusher if your quarterback sucks, I'll grant you that. But we still haven't seen ultimately what is done with the other picks in this deal. And I am sorry, right now, when you primarily look at that deal between the Raiders and the Bears, it has been Josh Jacobs for Khalil Mack. And I'm sorry, you take Khalil Mack every time. Every time. Even with the much larger contract. You take Khalil Mack every time. So you can't really pass full judgment on whether the Bears won the deal or the Raiders won the deal. And this comes back to me even talking about how much the Bears won the deal last year. We didn't even know who the Raiders had taken yet. So what the hell was I even talking about? It's just this lack of context. Like, now you got people coming out of the woodwork. Oh, you did the Minkah Fitzpatrick deal was stupid. I still think it was stupid for them to trade a defensive back when there's a very good chance they don't make the playoffs this year. And if Vinatieri, mind you, had made that field goal to win the game, the Steelers are 3-5. So that one kick makes the difference between a bunch of people hiding in the woodworks and a bunch of people talking shit. We haven't even seen how this thing plays out. The one thing I will do, unlike a lot of other people when they're exposed to be wrong or they're proven to be wrong, is I'm not going to hide from my take. I'm not going to sit there and delete my tweets or any of that like a bunch of other cowards that we know do. But damn, the lack of context is just striking, and it needs to stop.